Imagine this. You've worked hard your entire life. You've saved every penny, planned for your future, and built a comfortable life for yourself. You've raised a family, paid off your home, and now, in your golden years, you finally get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But then, in the blink of an eye, everything is gone. Stolen. Wiped out. And there's nothing you can do to get it back. This isn't just a nightmare. It's a harsh reality for thousands of seniors every year. And today, I want to tell you about Harold, a 92-year-old man who became the perfect target for scammers. He was careful, he was smart, but these criminals knew exactly how to manipulate him, just like they do with so many elderly victims. They played on his trust, emotions, and vulnerability, and before he even realized what was happening, his life savings had vanished. So how did this happen? And more importantly, could this happen to you or someone you love? The truth is, scammers specifically target seniors because they know older adults are more likely to be trusting and polite on the phone, have nest eggs and retirement savings that criminals can exploit, be less familiar with modern scams and digital fraud tactics. That's why in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 most dangerous scams that target seniors today. These are scams designed to trick, steal, and destroy lives. And if Harold had known about them beforehand, he might have been able to stop the scam before it was too late. So stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the warning signs and, most importantly, protect yourself and your loved ones from falling into the same trap. Let's start with one of the most heartbreaking and deceptive scams out there, the grandparent scam. Tip number 1: the grandparent scam. Now, let me ask you something. If you got a phone call in the middle of the night and the voice on the other end was crying, saying, "Grandma, Grandpa, please help me. I'm in trouble," what would you do? Would you hesitate? Or would you act fast to help your grandchild? That's exactly what the grandparent scam preys on: your love, your instincts, and your desire to protect your family. And that's exactly how Harold, our 92-year-old victim, lost thousands of dollars. Here's what happened to him. One night, around 2 a.m., Harold's phone rang. He picked up and heard a young man's panicked voice. "Grandpa, it's me. I got arrested, and I need your help. Please don't tell Mom and Dad. I just need you to send some money for bail." Harold's heart was racing. His grandson had never been in trouble before, but the fear in his voice sounded real. Before he could even think, another voice came on the line, a man claiming to be a lawyer. The lawyer said that Harold's grandson was in serious legal trouble and needed $7,000 immediately to post bail. Now, let me ask you, if you were in Harold's position, would you have asked questions? Or would you have felt pressured to act quickly? That's what these scammers are counting on. Harold, wanting to help, rushed to his bank first thing in the morning and wired the money. But here's the heartbreaking part: his grandson was never in jail. The whole thing was a lie. These scammers used 3 tactics to fool Harold. Emotional urgency. They created panic so he wouldn't stop to think. A fake authority figure, the so-called lawyer, made the scam seem legitimate. Secrecy. They told him not to tell his family, which stopped him from verifying the story. So how do you protect yourself from this? It's simple. White heavy checkmark, always verify. If someone calls claiming to be your grandchild, ask specific questions only they would know, or call their parents to confirm. White heavy checkmark, never send money immediately. Scammers want you to act fast. Slow down and think. White heavy checkmark, remember. No real lawyer will demand bail money over the phone. If you ever get a call like this, hang up and call the police directly. This scam has stolen millions from seniors across the country, and the worst part? Most of them never get their money back. Don't let it happen to you. Now, let's move on to another scam that preys on the trust of seniors: the Medicare scam. Tip number 2: Medicare and healthcare scams. If someone called you today claiming to be from Medicare and said, "We need to verify your Social Security number to keep your benefits active," would you believe them? For many seniors, Medicare is a lifeline, and scammers know that. They use fear and confusion to trick you into handing over your personal information. And once they have it, they can steal your identity, drain your accounts, or even file fake medical claims in your name. This is exactly how Harold became a victim a second time. One afternoon, he got a very official-looking letter in the mail from Medicare. It had the logo, the formatting, and even a phone number that looked real. The letter said, "We have detected an issue with your Medicare benefits. Please call us immediately to confirm your identity and avoid any interruptions in your coverage." Worried that he might lose his medical coverage, Harold called the number right away. The person on the other end sounded professional and kind. They reassured him that everything was fine. They just needed to verify his social security number and a few other personal details. Feeling relieved, Harold gave them the information. But what he didn't know was that the person on the other end wasn't from Medicare at all. It was a scammer. Within a week, strange things started happening. Harold's bank called him about suspicious transactions. He got a bill for medical services he never received. His credit score dropped because new accounts were opened in his name. At 92 years old, Harold had his entire identity stolen. All because of one phone call. So how can you protect yourself from this scam? White Heavy Checkmark Medicare will never call you asking for personal information. If you get a call like this, hang up immediately. White Heavy Checkmark. If you receive a letter from Medicare, don't call the number listed on it. Instead, look up the official number yourself at medicare.gov and call them directly. White Heavy Checkmark. Be careful with your Medicare card. Never share your Medicare number unless you're speaking to a trusted doctor or hospital. These scammers specifically target seniors because they know how much you rely on your benefit. But now that you know how this scam works, you can outsmart them before they ever have a chance to steal from you. And trust me, this is just the beginning. There's another scam out there that's even more deceptive, one that tricks seniors into handing over control of their entire computers. Let's talk about tech support scams. Tip number 3: Tech support scams. Let me ask you, what would you do if your computer suddenly froze, flashing a big red warning that said, "Warning! Your computer is infected. Call Microsoft immediately at this number." Would you panic? Would you call the number? That's exactly what Harold did. And in less than 30 minutes, scammers had full control over his computer, his bank accounts, and his personal information. Here's how it happened. One morning, Harold was browsing the internet when his screen suddenly turned blue. A loud voice came from his speakers, warning, "Your computer has been infected with a dangerous virus. Do not turn it off. Call this number for immediate support." Now, Harold wasn't tech-savvy. He was worried that if he ignored the warning, he'd lose all his important files. So, he called the number on the screen. A polite, professional-sounding person answered, claiming to be a Microsoft-certified technician. They told Harold his computer had been compromised and that hackers were stealing his information right now. "Don't worry," the scammer reassured him. "I can fix this for you. I just need you to grant me remote access to your computer." Harold, relieved that he had found help, followed the instructions. He downloaded a small program that gave the scammer full control over his computer. And that's when the real nightmare began. Within minutes, the scammer was searching through Harold's files, accessing his saved passwords, and even opening his online banking. Then, the technician told Harold there was a service fee of $499 to remove the virus. Harold, thinking this was necessary, gave his credit card information. As soon as he did, the scammer emptied his bank account. The worst part? Harold only realized it was a scam after the technician disappeared, leaving his computer exactly how it was before. So how can you protect yourself from this scam? White Heavy Checkmark. Microsoft, Apple, or any real tech company will never contact you about viruses. If you get a pop-up warning, ignore it. White Heavy Checkmark. Never call a number from a pop-up alert. These warnings are 100% fake. White heavy checkmark. If you think something is wrong with your computer, call a trusted local technician or a family member instead. Scammers love targeting seniors because they assume you're less familiar with technology. But now that you know how this scam works, you can outsmart them. Now, let's talk about another scam that's stealing millions from seniors: fake investment scams. Tip number 4: fake investment and retirement scams. What if I told you that scammers love targeting seniors with investment scams because they know you're looking for financial security? This is exactly what happened to Harold. Harold had been retired for over 30 years. He lived carefully, watching his spending, and always worried about running out of money. Then, one day, he got a call from a very confident-sounding man. "Harold, I have a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity for you. It's risk-free, and you can double or even triple your money." Now, Harold wasn't someone who normally took big risks. But when the man mentioned cryptocurrency, he was intrigued. "This is the future of money," the scammer said. "Even billionaires are investing in it. And the best part? You don't need to do anything. We handle everything for you." Harold was skeptical at first, but the scammer kept talking, telling him stories of other seniors who had turned $10,000 into $100,000 in just months. Then came the final push. "Harold, I'll be honest with you, I only have a few spots left. If you don't act now, you'll miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime." Harold didn't want to miss out. He thought, what if this really is my chance to secure my future? So, he agreed. He wired $50,000, almost all of his savings, into what he thought was an investment account. At first, everything seemed great. He got official-looking statements showing his money growing. But then, one day, he tried to withdraw some of his earnings. The website didn't work. The scammer stopped answering his calls. And just like that, Harold had lost everything. This scam is happening every single day. So, how can you protect yourself? White heavy checkmark. If an investment sounds too good to be true, it is. No legitimate investment is guaranteed to make you money. White heavy checkmark. Always research before investing. Look up the company and check if they are registered with official financial regulators. White heavy checkmark. Talk to a financial advisor or a family member before making big investment decisions. A second opinion can save you from losing your money. Scammers prey on trust and urgency. They want you to act fast before you have time to think. But now that you know their tricks, you won't fall for them. Now, we've covered a lot today: 4 scams that have stolen the hard-earned savings of seniors just like you. From the grandparent scam, where scammers pretend to be a family member in distress, to the tech support scam, tricking you into giving remote access to your computer, and the fake investment scam, promising risk-free returns that turn out to be nothing but lies. And, sadly, these scams are still happening every day. Seniors are prime targets because scammers believe that, with age, comes trust, and that trust is what they exploit. Just like Harold, who at 92 lost everything in the blink of an eye, it can happen to anyone. Harold worked his entire life to save for his retirement, only to have thousands of dollars stolen in seconds. He didn't just lose money, he lost his peace of mind. After all was said and done, Harold never saw that money again. He had to rely on family for financial support, something that no one ever plans for when they retire. But here's the good news: you can protect yourself. Now that you know the tricks these scammers use, you can be on the lookout. You won't fall for the too good to be true offers or the urgent phone calls claiming to be a loved one in need. You are armed with knowledge, and that's your best defense. So what can you do today? First, share this video with your friends and family. Let them know about these scams so they don't fall victim to the same trap. The more people who know the signs, the fewer people scammers will be able to deceive. Next, always take a moment before reacting to unsolicited messages or phone calls. Never let urgency cloud your judgment. Call someone you trust before making any decisions, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Scammers are counting on you to act without thinking. Finally, keep your financial information protected. Regularly check your accounts, be wary of sharing personal details online, and, if you're unsure, talk to someone who can help. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Share this video so others don't fall for these scams. Let's work together to make sure that scams like these no longer have a place in our lives. Take action today and help protect those who might not be aware.